Greetings, everyone. Brad here with Mild Mannered EDC. Really excited to do this video today. This is the sort of a culmination video of the charitable giveaway that we did here to benefit the National Psoriasis Foundation. I mean, wow. In just a few short days, you all made an amazing impact, donated some really generous donations to support the work of that foundation and people dealing with this illness. But even more so, and I think in some ways even more importantly, the level of kindness and thoughtfulness that I received in messages and comments, and was able to have conversation, some with people I hadn't met before, but with others, with people who I'd known for a while or had known through this whole YouTube process or the EDC community or whatever, but didn't know they were suffering with psoriasis or anything like that. So, or any of the other kind of skin related conditions folks sort of shared with me. And so, yeah, I mean, that was really touching and really affirming to be able to use this platform to kind of make those connections. So I really do appreciate that, and it meant a lot. Now, I am joined by a special guest today, and that is my oldest daughter, Maddie. That's right. There's her hand. Don't think of her as just the elbow or back person, right? Yes. She didn't, she was very gracious in letting me show some of those pictures. I know as I was thinking about doing this, she had agreed to, and we had talked a lot kind of going through all this about wanting to do this event for the Psoriasis Foundation, right? Mm-hmm. And try to do some good. So I'm going to let Maddie announce what you all raised for the foundation. So Maddie, and you got to get closer here so make sure they can hear you. What was the grand total?
$1,090.
That's right. $1,090 were donated between a Wednesday and a Sunday here in the early days of fall 2021. How awesome is that? I mean, truly, it just, yeah, I so appreciative to everybody who donated, sent kind words, was just really, really open and accessible through all this. Also really appreciative of everybody who donated to this and helped this, be possible to begin with. I couldn't have done this without, the generosity of the folks who donated some of this gear and helped guide me through this process. So, many of those folks know who they are, but it just, yeah, it's really fantastic. Now, in terms of winners, I will list them down in the description, just first name and last initial. I used a random name picker. I have already spoken with the individual who made the largest single donation, and the knife that he picked. He actually picked the VLD. There we go, the Monterey Bay Knives VLD. So there's that. But I've reached out to everybody whose name was picked out of the generator, and then I've got a couple sort of backup names in case they don't all come through. But it sounds like so far everybody's responded, and I think we're probably good to go. But yeah, and I'll get all this stuff out. I'm hoping by the end of, well, I know in YouTube everything kind of lives into eternity, so timing is going to basically within the week of this posting, or early into the next week, I'll try to get everything mailed out as best I can. So that's that. I don't know, Maddie, if you want to say. Oh, I did say, Maddie, I wanted you to tell me which of all these knives you thought was kind of the coolest, because it's always fun for me to see what. Everybody looks at EDC knives differently, right? So what was the one that you thought you kind of liked the best out of all these?
Probably this one.
Yeah, you told me that. So we talked about this. Do you remember the name of this one?
No.
It was the Feldspar, the CJRB Feldspar. You really liked this one. Why did you like it so much?
I don't know. I kind of like the texture and the blue and the shape of the blade.
Yeah, you really liked that blade shape, didn't you? Yeah, girl after my own heart with that nice drop point. Yeah, and then this kind of, it's almost like a jeans color, right? Or something like that. Yeah, with a little bit of the kind of cool pivot color there. Yeah. Good choice. I can't argue with that. So there you go. That one's definitely Maddie approved. Any of the other ones? I know you kind of like the size of this big old concept, though,
I've
right?
never seen one so big.
I know. She was like
this part that big.
Yeah, she's like, wow, that is the biggest blade I've seen on a knife. And she already knows that her dad brings home, crazy knives all the time. So, at any rate, anything you want to say before we kind of sign off here?
Yes. Thank you for all the generosity and all the kind messages.
Yep. It was pretty amazing, huh? People were cool, but it was fun too, right? It was fun to. I remember we would talk and say, oh, how much did folks generate today, and are the donations working, and are people sending messages? It was kind of fun to talk about, right? And I really appreciate being so brave and resilient on this. You've been pretty awesome and letting me show those pictures, and yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah. So all right. Well, unless you have anything else you want to say, I think. Yeah. Thinking? Okay. I think we'll sign off and just say, again, thank you so much. It really touched our hearts, and ultimately you made a difference, and that's what we set out to do. And I can't say thank you enough. And I hope this is just the first of more opportunities here on the channel to find some good causes and to try to do some good out there. This community has a tremendous heart and capacity for compassion and generosity and doing good, and so it's really fun to kind of try to harness that and do some good things. So should we end it the way I always end it here on the channel? Just Thank you. Stay safe out there. Be mild-mannered to one another.
Don't rob banks.
Don't rob banks. That's right. That's an obscure reference to one of the earlier. Was it your sister that said that? Yeah. That my youngest said in one of our earlier videos when it was daddy-daughter EDC talk or something. Yeah. So don't rob banks for sure, unless you're using it to, give to the National Psoriasis Foundation. No, I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. Don't rob banks. Not a good idea. All right. Thanks everybody. Stay safe out there. Really appreciate you all. All the best.